Welcome to the Explainer. Artificial intelligence isn't just for big tech anymore. It's quickly changing everything in the social sector, from the smallest nonprofits to huge global aid groups. Today, we're going to break down what leaders really need to know to handle this new world of incredible promise and pretty serious peril. All right, let's kick things off with a story. So this is Anita, a hiring manager. Her company just rolled out this brand new AI recruiting tool. The idea was to save time and, they hoped, get rid of human bias. It was even designed to be race-blind and gender-blind. But Anita started noticing something weird. The top candidates the AI picked, almost always white men. And what they figured out was that the AI, which was trained on 10 years of the company's own hiring data, had taught itself to penalize resumes that had words associated with women. It basically learned the company's own history of bias and then put it on autopilot. So you might be listening to Anita's story and thinking, okay, that's a Silicon Valley problem, right? Something the social sector can worry about later. But the thing is, AI isn't some far-off future issue. It's already here, and the numbers might just surprise you. Get this. A recent national survey found that a whopping 2/3 of nonprofit organizations are already using artificial intelligence. So the conversation is no longer about if the social sector should be using AI, it's all about how. But here's where it gets really interesting. We see this critical tension. While 66% are already using AI, an even bigger number, 77%, believe it has way more potential to help them hit their mission goals. And this gap, right here, between what AI is doing now and what it could be doing, well, that's what we're going to dive into. So this is clearly AI's big moment in the social sector, but we've got to cut through all the hype to find the real hope and, face some pretty hard realities along the way. First up, let's talk about the promise. Why is everyone so excited about this stuff? What's the potential here? AI offers this whole new powerful toolkit. It can automate the boring financial stuff, dig into donor data to make fundraising way more personal, and even help streamline the whole grant writing nightmare. The idea is to free up your people from that kind of tedious work so they can focus on what actually matters, delivering services and building relationships. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Saving time is great, for sure. But the real game changer, the ultimate goal, is to use these tools to create better, more equitable outcomes for the communities that these organizations are there to serve. Okay, so that's the shiny, promising side of the coin. But what about the hidden dangers? What's lurking just under the surface that we need to be aware of? Before any organization just jumps in with both feet, leaders have got to be super aware of the pitfalls, because they can seriously undermine the whole mission if you're not careful. And what's the number one thing keeping nonprofit leaders up at night? It's bias. Just like what happened in Anita's story. There's this very real, deep-seated fear that these tools could end up making the very inequities they exist to fight even worse. And this map here, it does a fantastic job of showing why that fear is so justified. See, bias isn't some simple bug you can just patch. Nope, it can creep in at every single stage. From the biased historical data the AI learns from, to the way the algorithm is designed, and even in how we humans end up using it. So let's be super clear. When we say biased AI, we are not talking about some technical glitch. We're talking about systems that can lead to real-world harm, like unfairly denying people resources or opportunities, which directly attacks the core mission of an organization. And it's not just bias. There's this other huge risk, something called humanitarian surveillance. Think about it. The very same data that you collect to help people could be turned around and used to monitor them, to police them, especially if that data gets shared with government agencies. It just shatters the fundamental trust between an organization and its community. So you've got bias and surveillance, plus the risk of the models simply failing, literally making things up in what are called hallucinations. And on top of all that, every new AI system is basically a new front door for cyber attackers to try and get at your most sensitive data. And yet, despite all of these really serious risks, check out this number. A staggering 78% of nonprofits that are using AI right now have no organizational policy whatsoever to guide how it's used. That is a massive, unmanaged risk that leaves organizations and, more importantly, the communities they serve dangerously exposed. Okay, so the stakes are obviously super high. How can leaders move forward? How do you get all that promise without falling into the peril? Well, it all comes down to having a clear and responsible roadmap. So experts are laying out a pretty clear 5-step roadmap. And what's really important here is that it doesn't start with technology. It starts with people. Step 1, assemble a diverse team. You need the tech experts, sure, but you also need people who get the mission and, crucially, people from the community. Then you establish your rules, your governance policy. Get your data house in order. Then, and this is key, start small. And finally, you have to commit to continuously testing and monitoring what you've built. And that last step, that continuous testing, it brings up this really important idea called AI assurance. You can think of it like a regular audit or a stress test for your AI systems. It's a formal process to make sure the tool is still working the way you think it is, that it's trustworthy, and that you're actively managing all those risks we've been talking about. You know, adopting AI responsibly isn't just about following a checklist. It really requires a fundamental shift in how we think about technology's role in creating social impact. In this right here, this might be the most important shift of all. The conversation has to change. We have to stop asking if we can use AI. That ship has already sailed. The real question, the one that really matters now, is how should we use AI? How do we do it in a way that is safe, ethical, and truly serves our communities? We have to be so careful that this gold rush for shiny new AI applications doesn't just push aside the really vital conversations about ethics, governance, safety, and accountability. The tool can never, ever become more important than the mission it's supposed to serve. At the end of the day, AI is just a tool. It can amplify efficiency, but it can also amplify bias. It can generate insights, but it can't generate wisdom. That has to come from human leadership, a leadership grounded in ethics and committed to equity. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. AI provides the tools, but only you can provide the wisdom. How will your organization use both?